All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I believe we're live. Welcome to a new Italian mastery session. We're going to learn some Italian today. I would like to, first of all, invite the people on Facebook, the ones in our group. And second, I'm going to show you, today we're going to be talking about something quite interesting. Participio passato and passato prossimo. Both quite advanced topics. We are going to answer a specific question that was asked in the previous session, and then we can move on with something more lightweight, or we can sort of look at a few examples and then cut the session short, keep it short, because it's an intense topic. I don't want to talk about it for more than 10, 15, 20 minutes max. So let me just invite the people on Facebook. Meanwhile, we're going to wait for a couple of minutes for people to show up. Right, I'm just typing the message. I'm also going to send them the link. Franci, ciao ragazzi, ciao a tutti. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Write in the chat, so I know who's in, who's not, and if the audio is okay. Okay, right. So we have shared the link there, and brilliant. Okay. Diana, ciao, ti sento bene? Perfect. Grazie. Bene, bene, bene. Sono contento. Sto usando la VPN. So I am using a VPN, which means that there might be issues with the connection. So I'm always happy when you can hear me loud and clear. Come va ragazzi? Mark? Va bene? Tutto bene? Come stai? Fantastic. Okay. So another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to start with the question that was asked actually a couple of weeks ago now. Let me just change the scene. All right. So on the screen, you should see the actual questions. I challenged somebody to, providing an example. Basically, my point was, actually, I should probably show you in an example because it's much easier. So, can you see the screen? Delucidazioni sul passato, sul participio passato. Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about the past participle and it sounds crazy, it sounds difficult. We use the past participle as part of the present perfect, which we always use when we talk about the past. Sono andato. Ho giocato. Ho mangiato. Ho bevuto. We always use the present perfect instead of the past simple. The present perfect is using the verb to be or the verb to have, and then the past participle. Just like in English, I have eaten. Eaten is the past participle. Now, what I said, right? What I said in one of the previous, hold on, this is old notes. They have nothing to do with today, okay? So what I said in a previous session is that the past participle, participio passato, is never conjugated. Meaning, if I want to say I slept, all I'm going to do is ho dormito. If I want to say she saw them, lei ha visto loro. They ate pasta. Loro hanno mangiato la pasta. So as you can see, the point that I made, and I'm hoping that you can see it on the screen. Yeah, you should be able to see everything on the screen. Let me know if you can't. So the point is, this guy and this guy and this guy are always the same. Dormito, slept, visto, seen, mangiato, eaten. We don't conjugate the past participle. End of story. But then someone came with a question, right? So this was my statement. And someone said, hold on, I have noticed that there is an issue. Sometimes the past participle, so the present perfect, which is made up of the verb to have, the verb to be, and then the past participle, sometimes we don't conjugate it, but sometimes we do. What's that about? So that was the question, and I said, I don't know, I think you're mistaken. And indeed, I was wrong. So there are cases where the past participle indeed is conjugated. Today, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to explain why and when this happens. And it happens in one, only in one, there's a very simple rule. There's only one case, basically, a rule that you can just remember, and then we can talk about why this rule makes sense, right? So here we have the example. First of all, do you guys have any questions? Are you following, or Medeo, ciao a tutti, ciao Arturo, ciao a tutti, ciao a tutti. Ditemi se riuscite a vedere, se riuscite a sentire, se capite. Okay, so if you understand, if you can see, if you can hear me, that's always helpful. Hit the thumbs up button. Is going to be quite useful, and for some of you quite liberating, because it's going to simplify things quite a bit. Right. So the example that is brought up here is non li ho visti. Non li ho visti. So we have non li ho visti. This means I didn't see them. I didn't see them. Non li ho visti. And the question is, why do we have the past participle? Why is it conjugated? The past participle, I said that it's never conjugated. Why is it conjugated in this case? We have other examples here in the question. So this is from Diana, non li ho visti. I think this is a great example because it's simple. Un altro esempio, ho fatto una torta e mia figlia l'ha mangiata. Okay, this is a bit more complicated because there is the apostrophe, but it's fine. L'ha mangiata. So she ate it. In this case, again, mangiata ends in a. So we can, mangiata. Let's add another example. Le ho preparate. Preparate. I prepared them. Maybe I'm talking about cakes. Maybe I'm talking about, I don't know, eggs. It must be something feminine, right? Plural. Le ho preparate. Io le ho preparate. Again, we have the same issue or the same form. Preparate is the past participle of preparare, but it should be preparato. Why do we have to conjugate? Again, same question, right? So we have a similar case. So notice how in these examples, we have the past, the past participle, which is part of the present perfect, and the same happens here, but in these examples, we don't have the conjugation. Everything ends in singular masculine, dormito, mangiato, bevuto, standard. And in these examples, we have the conjugation. What's going on? Do you all understand the question and the problem? I'm going to stop for 20 seconds and I'm going to need you guys to give me a sign. Some notifications. Ok, Arturo dice sì. Bene. Ok, brilliant. Diana, sì. Perfect. Right. Yeah, Mark is onto something. Pronouns are added. Well spotted. It's kind of that. It's kind of that. And by the way, it's really good to think about why things might be the way they are. Sometimes there is no reason at all. Sometimes there is, and in this case there is. I'm going to add an extra example, and then I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to add an extra example. Why? Just to show you that this works across all examples. Non gli hanno mai parlato. By the way, this is difficult. This is a more difficult example. Non gli hanno mai parlato. They have never spoken to him. The reason why I chose this example is because we have another pronoun. So, they, loro, non, so the negative, Hanno mai parlato? Have spoken ever? Gli, a lui. Non gli hanno mai parlato. Non hanno mai parlato a lui. So they have never spoken to him, right? So gli stands for to him. It's therefore a flexed version of an indirect pronoun. You see, we have all these direct pronouns here. Li, l, which stands for la, and le. These are direct pronouns, right? So this stands for loro or quelle. Ho preparato quelle. In fact, we could say ho preparato quelle or le ho preparate. Okay, the question still stands. Why do we have the conjugation in these cases? And now I'm going to answer it. Very simple. Do we have any questions? No, we don't have any questions. Very simple. Whenever there is a direct object, right? So we are speaking, right? We are speaking, and we have a subject, implicit or not. Then we have the predicate. So, ho mangiato la pasta. So then we have the direct object. Ho mangiato la pasta. So let's look at the examples before. Loro hanno mangiato la pasta. Same thing. Io, so I ate the pasta, or they ate the pasta. It doesn't matter. Loro hanno mangiato la pasta. We have a subject, we have a predicate, and then we have a direct object. Now, if we use a flexed direct object, so the smaller, shortened versions that come before the predicate, right? So this is just basic direct pronouns, right? Direct pronouns, you can put them in their full form, in their strong form after the predicate, like in pasta, or you can put it before. For example, loro l'hanno mangiata. La stands for pasta, right? La mangiata. There you go. So when you have a flexed direct object, you then conjugate the past participle. That's it. So when you have a flexed direct object, you then conjugate the past participle. End of story. This is the rule. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to absorb this new information, and then I'm going to explain why this makes sense from the point of view of how the language evolved and why we have this. It's not like an exception. It's more like it makes language more I don't know. I don't want to say easy, but it makes it flow better than if the rule was not there. Let me see if there's any questions. Do you guys have any questions, or is it all incredibly clear? So the rule, let's write it down in caps. If there is flexed direct object, we conjugate the past participle. I hope that that's a word, participle. I've never spelt it before, so Hopefully I'm successful. Don't really know how to color this. We'll go with blue. Well, looks a bit weird, but that's okay. Weird is fine. Right. If there is flexed direct object, we conjugate the past participle. I can give you 100,000 examples. Lei ha visto lui. She saw him. Lei ha visto lui. But then if we want to go lei lo ha visto. Now this is tricky. Now visto here is conjugated. It's conjugated masculine singular because he is masculine singular, right? So this and this match. Let's try something different. Lui ha visto lei. If we want to use the flexed version, lui l'ha vista. And there you go. This is matching la. L apostrophe, but it would really be la. L-A, la. Lui l'ha, meaning lei, ha vista. Lui l'ha vista. Let's try something a little bit easier. Loro hanno mangiato le banane. Tante banane. Loro hanno mangiato tante banane. So they ate many bananas. They ate many bananas. Loro le hanno mangiate. Is it clear? This is the final example. I'm done. What do you guys think of the explanation? What do you guys think of what I've just said? Do you have any more questions? Do you have follow-up questions? Are you able to sleep better at night after knowing how to correctly conjugate the past simple in Italian? Oh, okay. A lot of questions. Sorry. Sorry, let me read the chats. Flexed means what again? Pronouns are added. Yes, I never heard of the word flexed. Does it mean taking the proper noun and giving it the pronoun? Oh. Problemi di linea. Okay. Have you guys missed on some of the stuff that I talked about? I'm sorry that the the internet is not working very well, apparently. Does it mean taking the proper noun and giving it the pronoun? Let me just come in and out. Let me just stop. Okay, brilliant. So nothing missed, the internet cut off a second and then returns. Fine, great. Diana, grazie, ho capito. Mark, I need to think about this one for a bit. Absolutely. Mark didn't miss anything either, that's fine, that's great. Yes, in and out, but nothing really missed. Okay. That's good. So, with regard to, I never heard of the word flexed. So now you have. There is, there's a couple of ways to talk about pronouns. The way that I teach pronouns, I think is the best way. Is the best way I found. I think it's the only way that makes sense. I don't think anybody is serious about teaching them. The pronouns come in two forms: strong and weak. Sometimes they're called full and flexed. Regardless of how we call them, we know that sometimes pronouns are spelt out in full. Io amo loro. Now we have a pronoun, then we have the predicate, and then we have loro. The object is another pronoun. This pronoun is an object pronoun. But we can also have it in weak form or flexed form. Io li amo. So that's all it means. This is it. By the way, oh my god, right, did you miss it? Now it's stop prolonged, weak form, ho capito adesso. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. Apparently the line is not very well. Beside that, have you guys understood the main point? The main point being when there is a weak form or flexed form of a direct object, we need to conjugate. And the weak form is something that we studied in depth in the university. That's how I teach pronouns. It took me like 56, more or less, lessons to teach pronouns. Like it's a long journey, and it goes from zero to understanding all the pronouns, the weak form, the clusters, pronoun clusters. It's all connected, interconnected. The students will know, because some of you are, and we have lots of lessons on this. So I don't want to spend hours and hours explaining, weak form and strong form. There's many subjects linked to what we are tackling right now today. I don't have anything else to say except that from next time, we're going to try a new format, which is going to be more, I think, easier, but also more interesting. And I'm looking forward to trying that out. Do you guys have any last questions? We've gone on for about half an hour, and I think that's it. I'm fed up with this past participle extravaganza. Mark says yes. Diana, sì, grazie mille. Grazie a voi. Grazie a tutti. Grazie Diana per gli esempi. Thank you for the examples. Thank you for the questions. Arturo, I think he asked the question as well. Mark participated a lot throughout. Grazie molte a voi. Se avete altre domande, fatele adesso. Ask now if you have any more questions. And beyond that, have a great Sunday, have a great week. Study Italian, studiate l'italiano, abbiate una buona settimana, ci vediamo la settimana prossima. Okay, and hit the thumbs up button if you haven't yet, and comment something like, this was the most amazing time of my life. Ciao, 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 ciao a tutti. Ok, buona domenica a tutti, ciao, ciao, buona domenica a te Arturo, alla prossima settimana, ci vediamo, ciao ciao ciao.
Did you finish?